Pamala, it's great to have you on the show. So tell us, what's the idea behind Pathbreakers?
Well, Pathbreakers started as our part of our whole mission. Aspirations education stands for students to realize their aspirations, being fountain of the inspiration. So it's about career guidance and the total personality. So Pathbreakers was the aspect that was supposed to cover the personality enhancement and development part. This was the vision that we always had, and we were doing different projects to further this vision, like having Aspirations Youth Club where students get together and they organized beach rugby carnivals, they organized medical camps and things like that. But then once we were also speaking to a friend from ETV, and we also said the vision that we had for the youth, that when it comes to personality enhancement, and that is when the idea of Pathbreakers was born.
There are many types of TV shows. Why did you choose a reality show?
Why a reality show? It's actually a good question. It was because we wanted to do a show with respect to education and intellectual skills, and we wanted to bring the intellectual aspect. But the problem when you're doing educational shows, there's this natural inclination to say it's a bit boring. Like, for example, there are debates, people watch debates and it's like, okay, it's boring, it's going on forever. There are quiz programs, once again, it's a bit boring. So because we're bringing this academic element, because we're bringing this intellectual element in it, and we wanted to target the young students to make them involved in it. So we were thinking, how can we get that balance? Because we're not talking about dancing, we're not talking about music, we're talking about education, and also we're talking about getting the young students and the youth involved in it. So we thought, let's bring the intellectual element, but let's get a reality factor into it. So that is why it's called a reality show, but it's nothing like the Superstar or American Idol. It has a different ethos and a different culture to the entire show.
In the previous season, you featured management students, but this time you've selected a much younger age group. What's the idea behind that?
First time it was undergraduates, and it was more a corporate reality show where we got down 8 business case studies from Harvard Business School. But this time we also wanted a different challenge, because as we're being a pathbreaker and giving opportunity for the others to be pathbreakers, Aspirations Education also wanted to be a pathbreaker and do something again new, so that we also keep experimenting and we give a new opportunity to a new age group. That was one idea, but at the same time, the school students are such a vibrant lot. They always participate in debating competitions and Shakespeare drama contest, and so many things are happening. So bringing the television aspect to that was giving an extra dimension to the whole thing. So we wanted to give that extra dimension and experiment with a different group.
Deepamala, your core business is consulting students who seek education abroad. Can you explain to us briefly how you would equip them to survive out there?
When the student comes to the office on the spur of the moment, what we immediately do is look at their study background and then their aspirations for the future, and then match those and see what paths and avenues are available abroad, and then find them universities and tell them the different paths and avenues that they can pursue. Because if you are to go abroad, it's going to be a whole new world. In the sense, it's a different culture. It's about meeting new people, facing new challenges, taking up new opportunities. So that is why we have something like Pathbreakers, because you give that opportunity in a different sense. They mentally rehearse to meet new people, though it's not from a different country, but from different schools and different sectors. So it's again, in a way, about being able to build up that resilience so that you can go abroad and survive as well. Having said that, this opportunity is not only for students who can go abroad. It's also for students who would be in Sri Lanka and who wouldn't want to go abroad, so that at least if they're not going to get that international exposure, they get some kind of exposure where they can experiment with.
We all know Pathbreakers will premiere next week. What kind of show can the audience expect?
It's going to be something very exciting. It will be something that will definitely leave behind something for the audience to think about. And for the participants, it will be a very special experience that will add value to their lives. And when they come out after participating in Pathbreakers, we hope to give them that sense and the spirit that a show of this kind promises to deliver.